students, Dr. Shruggy here, and I'm here today just to help you understand how you're going to connect your computer, whatever kind of computer you have, to the machine that we're going to be using in this class to do our work, the research server that we're going to be using. The name of the computer that we're going to be using is Chesapeake, and happens to live right here under my desk. It's just a Windows computer that we uninstalled Windows and installed the Linux operating system on, which is the operating system that most real scientific type computing gets done on. But that's kind of, it's hundreds of miles from where you live, and it is, you're going to be connecting to that computer from whatever kind of laptop you have, or desktop, or whatever. Your computer will be the client that is connecting to the server, the research machine that we have here, actually, like I said, here in my home. The name of that computer, as if I haven't mentioned before, is Chesapeake, like as in Chesapeake Bay. And we'll be talking about Chesapeake on and off throughout the semester about that particular computer and so on. Anyway, Linux computers always have names, and my computers are always just, I always name them after bodies of water for whatever reason. So, how you're going to connect to that computer so that you can be doing work, you are virtually in front of that computer, will depend on exactly what your computer is. Now, I don't have a Mac here to show you exactly how it works, but I can walk you through the steps, and I can kind of show you what it's going to look like. Mac OS X has a program in it called Terminal, and Terminal is a way of getting access to a Linux-like environment that you could use to connect to a research computer. So you need to get to Terminal. Every time you want to connect to Chesapeake to do some work for your class, you're going to want to start the Terminal. Terminal is on a Mac is inside of the Applications folder. There's another folder inside of there called Utilities, and then you'll just click or double click or whatever it is on Mac to start the Terminal. And it's going to pop up a window that looks a lot like this window that I have up over here, this black one. Yours may not be black, it might be white with dark letter, black letters, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I recognize this is probably a little hard for you to read on the screen here, because for some reason mine is in a really terrible font and stuff like that. This is not Terminal that I'm in right now. I'm actually on a Windows XP computer of all horrible things here. But Windows XP has something similar. And then to connect to Chesapeake, you're going to type SSH. See the little terminal window here popped up? It's a little Unix-like computer environment. It's a command line environment. You type commands in there. To make the connection to Chesapeake, you're going to type SSH space, and then the name of your login on Chesapeake, which I've already sent you. I'm planning on them all being your blue logins at Creighton. That just seems easiest. So, like, I'm going to log in on my student account here, which is student315. That's the name of my login. Now, the name of this computer is Chesapeake, but the internet doesn't know that. The domain servers and things like that think the name of this computer is shruggyj.ddns.net. ddns.net is the provider I have, and this machine is named shruggyj because that's my login on their server. So anyway, even the world, the cloud, thinks that this machine's name is actually shruggyj.ddns.net. And we're connecting to the account student315, but you'd be connecting to whatever your blue login is on there. All right. Now you're not. By the way, it's your net ID, but your blue password is not necessarily what you'll be using on that. This is not integrated into its blue password system. We'll get to what your password will be shortly. All right. So if you typed in on a Mac into your terminal SSH space, SSH is the secure shell. That is what is the name of the software that connects these two computers. It's going to, first time you do it, this will only happen the first time you do it, it's going to demand, are you sure that this is the computer you want? Do you trust it? Should we share fingerprints? All that kind of stuff. And you'll just answer yes. And then after that, it'll be asking you for a password. Now, the first time you log in, you're going to be using the password I sent you. Again, not your blue password that you use everything for Creighton. I don't have access to those passwords on my computer here. That would be a very serious security problem. So I have set you all up a password, which you have received via email. Here I'm putting in my Shruggy, my student315 password, but it could be anything. Oh, permission denied. Try again. Maybe I misspelled it. Oh, I misspelled student. All right, let me try this again. I'm going to use good piece of information to see what happened. If you get stuck, if you've entered something wrong, Control-C is a command that in general in anything Unix breaks you out of the program that's running right now. So I can try this again. SSH student315 at shruggyj.ddns.net. And, what's my password? There. You don't need my password. Anyway, and you'll be in, and it will say something like your login at Chesapeake, and you are on Chesapeake. I know it doesn't look like anything has happened. You are now, though, actually on that computer that's under my desk right now. That is where, when you do things, that's where they're happening. That computer's hard drive is what you're using. That computer's CPU is what you're using right now. Now, I'm not yet telling you anything to do on that computer. I'm just saying, get yourself logged in. Okay? Let's change my mind about that. Let's do one more thing on there. You should immediately change your password. Okay, that password that I sent you is a terrible thing. You want to change the password. Once you are actually on Chesapeake, and you can see I'm on Chesapeake or whatever here, then you should change the password using the password command, which is PASSWD. PASSWD. And it'll say changing password for student 315, except it'll say changing password for your net ID. And you put in your current password that I gave you, and then you put in a new password. And they have to be reasonably strong. It'll guide you through it if it's not working or whatever. Okay, I'm going to break out of this because I do not want to break my current password. Let me see if Control-C will let me out. There we go, I'm out of it. Okay, so Control-C broke me out of the program PASSWD. Notice that this is a command line kind of thing, right? Alright, so when you are done, you've been doing some homework for your class. When you are done, you don't want to be on Chesapeake anymore. To break the connection to Chesapeake, you'll type exit in your window. And now you have returned back. See, I don't know if you can read at the bottom of my screen here, but it says I'm back of Shruggy J at Niobrara. This computer's name is Niobrara. Okay, that would be if you're like on a Mac. Actually, most of that's going to be the same if you're on a PC, but whatever. Alright, let me show you then the story about on a PC. On a PC, Windows PCs no longer ship with something like Terminal installed already. You need to put something like that on in order for this to work. Now, as it happens, there's a free alternative that is just wonderful called Putty. I have no idea why it's called Putty. But Putty is a lovely program, and all you gotta do is download it and install it one time on your computer, and you set it up and it'll work beautifully, and then from then on, after, you just double click on it to start the connection to Chesapeake. So you go to putty.org to get Putty, and if I show you real quick here, putty.org is a pretty busy looking page right here. You first go to, if you go to putty.org, it says download Putty, okay, and this page here has all kinds of options of like different versions of the program to download. Don't get stressed about that. The very first one you have a choice of here is under binaries. Putty.exe will work lovely. Okay, it's a very secure program. There's no bugs. There's no Trojan. There's no viruses. There's nothing. Okay, this is a program used by literally like 1 billion people in the world. Okay, download Putty.exe and run it. Again, it's just the very first one you have a choice of for Windows and Intel x86. Putty.exe. Don't worry about PuttyTel and all these other versions of the program here. Putty is the right one. When you actually get Putty and you double click on it, let me show you. This is what my version of Putty looks like, because I already have set up a lot of different computers that I happen to use, like Atlantic, Chesapeake, and other computers that I use. You won't have anything there yet. You don't have any computers set up. So the very first time you use this program, you will have to configure it. How do we do that? Up here where it says host name, you're going to put that address that the cloud, the internet, thinks is the name of this computer, which is shruggyj.ddns.net. Okay? This bit about the ports, you just leave that alone. This bit about, just make sure it's clicked on SSH. In practice, what is Putty going to really be doing? It's going to be using the SSH program to connect to that address. I mean, it's just the same sort of thing. And give this session a name. Like, you'll probably want to call it Chesapeake. Okay? Now, I already have a session called Chesapeake, so I'll just call it Chesapeake 2, just so I'm not repeating one. Alright? But these will set these settings here, and then I'll just save it. Okay? Now, if I just close this up here and launch Putty again, notice I now have a setting for Chesapeake 2. Okay? If I just double click on those, that's exactly the same thing as on a Mac of typing SSH and then your login at shruggyj.ddns.net. It's just a different set of steps, okay? So anyway, then once I'm here, I actually am on a PC. I just type in the name of my account that I'm logging into, and I type in my password, and I am in my account. And just like before, now I can see mine actually says right there on the screen, student 315 at Chesapeake. And I can be doing all the things that we're going to be learning about this semester, about writing programs and making graphs and all that kind of stuff. But right now, all I want you to do is change your password. And just like it was with anything else, with the Mac version, it's irrelevant. When you go to what you're connecting with, when you connect to Chesapeake, the command to change the password is PASSWD. So type PASSWD and then hit enter to activate that command. It's a command line interface, and it'll prompt you through, enter your current password, enter a new one, it makes you verify it, etc. And then your password will have changed. When you're done, anytime you're done working with Chesapeake, you're ready to log out and go do something else, you type exit to get out of that window. Okay? Alright, so that is how you're going to do it if you're on a PC. Once you have PuTTY downloaded and installed, it's ridiculously easy. You just launch PuTTY, double-click on Chesapeake. Okay? And it'll start your connection. If you're on a Mac, you have a few extra steps because each time you got to actually go to Applications, then to Utilities, then to Terminal, and then type that command, SSH, your login at shrugej.dns.net. There is a third option. This can actually all be done in browser extensions too. If you use Firefox, there is an extension you can download called Fire SSH that runs an SSH, a secure shell connection to wherever you want to go, inside the browser window. This is kind of voodoo. Same with like in Chrome. There's a Chrome SSH extension that you can use that will open up in a Chrome tab. It will open up a connection to the machine you want. I happen to have these installed. I think they're just astonishing magic. But like if I just go to a new tab in my Firefox session here, I actually just have it sitting up here. Fire SSH is just this little icon right here. If I just hit the Fire SSH extension here, and I put in here I want to go to Chesapeake. I'm going to call this account Chesapeake. It is on, the host name is shrugej.ddns.net, and the login will be student315, and my password is what it is. Alright, and I connect. It's astonishing to me that this works, but I am now inside of Chesapeake through a browser extension. I'm not sure this is going to work for every single thing we're going to do this semester, but like if you've got trouble with PuTTY, or you've got trouble with Terminal, you might, but you're all about the browser extensions, go ahead and give these a try at Chrome SSH or Fire SSH. There is a Safari SSH. I don't have any way to test it because I don't have a Mac here. But this would work. And again, you don't know yet any of the tricks or tools or what it is we're doing with on Chesapeake, but you will. And at least for a while, what we're doing will work like this. Okay. While maybe you and I get it sorted out, via Skype if you're having some problems with one of the other ways. So this would not be my first choice of a way to do it, but like if you're having some trouble, this could be a way to do it. But that's up to you. Okay, so you now have seen a couple of different ways that you can use to connect from your laptop to a wonderful, powerful beast of a computer just sitting here under my desk named Chesapeake. And we're going to use that computer all semester long. Okay, give it a shot. Log in from whatever kind of computer you are on and get into Chesapeake and change your password on Chesapeake and log back out. Then, heck, do it again. Now try logging back into Chesapeake using your new password, stuff like that. Once you actually have it working, send me an email so that I know that that you're having success. If you have any trouble, I've dealt with trouble lots of times on these kinds of problems. We'll get it sorted out and let me know how this all works out. Alright, this has been Dr. John Schraggy.